All right, guys, you hear me? Thank you. All right, I'll be back in 1 minute.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should heavily consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites and digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment, and host Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses or material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Alrighty. So I'm currently short half position in ES. I screwed this up. I'll get to that in a second. I had literally a month making day in this market today. I put in the room earlier. We talked about this on the webinar. Let's go over the stuff first. Just talked about how this kind of just snapped back here, and then we built balance, broke down, retested HVN, held, and it was go time from there. I still think this has much more to go, but so I was shorting at every chance that I got. And I had to literally, there were so many stop runs, I had to just delete zones because as more things happened, it was just, there was just too many zones. So you can go back, today is a great day to go back and replay the day. The bookmap feeds, you know, download mine, you should have access to those. I pretty much started over here though. This is a 600 lot stop run. Stop and hold, and then there's, wait, I don't think that was it. No, that was earlier. That was a Dumb and Dumber, but then we had this huge one here. And this is where I started adding. I had at one time 4 positions on, adding. Again, my head spinning. I have not taken a break. I've been sitting here watching this clown market all day. But there was just, you can go back and replay this. It's really good practice to see this. There's another 500 here. So anyway, I held it. Where I made the mistake was, one, the first time down here. So I was watching, this was today. So the first time down, you know, I was playing the break of these, and we talked about all this stuff on the morning webinar. I was playing the break of that, and then we broke down through here, stop run after stop run after stop run. There was some sell ice too, I believe. I can't remember. Anyway, we came close enough to the bottom of this prior profile where I should have been, this was right around 65, where I should have been ready to cover most of them. And I sat there and I held it, and it came back, and then it just sat there, kept crawling back for the rest of the morning, and then I held it into the Fed, and then stop me if you've seen this one before. Look at this stop out. Look at that. I had 12 contracts on at this time. It's just so upsetting. I look at that. This is like, this is my curse. I tell you guys, you see it 5 times a day for me. How can that be the exact thing? Anyway, I did that, and then another setup happened. It was this, this dual sell ice here. You had like 150 there, 150 there. That's this black zone, and I re-entered. But I mean, this was up 4 or 5 times that amount. And I was doing it on multiple counts. I was like, literally getting in and out on multiple accounts. My head is spinning. But anyway, I re-entered on the break of this. You can see right there. And the minute I entered, so I had my stop a half ATR below here. And then the stop run popped off. And it did that. And it was looked like it was going to be a Dumb and Dumber. But I just kept my stop on ATR above this zone here. And I held on to it. And then it did this. So my whole target the whole time was the blue lug, right? I knew we were going to get there. It was just having to withstand the usual algo nonsense, and we got there perfectly. Now, this is just so upsetting. So this is my stop out. Again, I should have just gone above this yellow lug, but in my mind, I didn't think we should even come back this far based on everything I saw over here. The Fed came out, this nonsense, and then it did that. And I got out of most of them when I re-added down here, and I still have one on. But this was, but I tell you guys, like, this is what trading is. You sit here and you bide your time and you wait for the month making day, and I had it and I screwed it up. I'm still profitable, but again, this was a monster trade day here. So this is where I'll stop out of this. If not, I'll hold on to it for now. See if we can form new lugs. So in my despair of being stopped to the tick, I first missed this. I put this in the room. This was like 4,000. That wasn't that much. I'm sorry, 3,000. Yeah, there's 1,300 here, another 2,100 here. That's this black zone. And I saw us, we popped above here. We did get an ATR above, but then there was more buy ice. That was like 700 and that failed. And I'm like, you know what? I want to short that. I'm going to short this right when it breaks this. And I think I was looking at something in crude and I missed it. And it was already like down here. I'm like, screw it. And then the thing drops. You can see all the way down here. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a retest. So then I get the retest and I put it on full size like I should have. And then I'm sitting there like, because I wasn't looking at the 5 minute. I was looking at this hourly. And I didn't really like it didn't really show, it wasn't really telling me anything. We had this buy tail, this sell tail, and we were right in the middle. I'm like, so when I put that on, I automatically cut it in, like it started to go my way, and I cut it in half, because my biggest weakness as a trader is trading these things in a vacuum, right? So when that happened, when we retested, I'm like, wait, that wasn't really an area, like an important area. We're right in the middle of that balance. I'm going to cover half of these. So I covered half. So I still have 3 on, but then when I look closer, again, because I was so rattled by CL, this was a perfect area to short that. So we had, you know, you're looking at this, everything we talk about every day. There's your breakdown. Here's your retest, HVN, confluent with VWAP. There you go. And you had all that ice right there. When this broke down, that was a perfect trade. And that's my other weakness. I let stuff get to me, and then I lose my concentration, and then it's a shit show, pardon my language. But at least I have something on. I should have a full position on there. And the other thing too, I was looking at this, I'm like, well, yeah, we're at VWAP, and this is before I looked at the 5 minute. I'm like, we're at VWAP, but we're above the yellow. I can see it's coming back up here. You know, you start to come up with these scenarios against you. So I'm like, yeah, this isn't the best trade. And so I cut it in half. Of course we did that. But so the CL wasn't really my fault, like getting stopped to the tick, but this was definitely a trading error here. I should have full size on. I think we're coming down to this blue lug at least. So anyway, the markets I really want to short, that we've been talking about for 2 days now, are NASDAQ and Russell. Right? Nothing's changing in these things. I think these things are going to crater, right? Broke down from this, came back, retested again on the Fed, no dice. Now we're here. If I get any signals, I'm taking this trade. Again, we already violated this. I'm taking this. It's going to be a huge trade. So there's another reason I was kind of reluctant with the ES, because it just doesn't look as bearish as these other two, like Russell, same thing. I mean, this looks just horrendous. This looks like this thing's going to die, right? Breakdown, here's your retest. We can't even get above the bottom of this, right? And again, you got this mammoth. I think we're at least coming down to here. And if not just there, I think we may do that. This whole thing, every long is underwater, is going to be biggest puke this year. I also shorted soybeans. This took all day as well. We should talk about this zone up here. Back up. We talked about wanting to be short this market. Based on again, you missed any of this? We talked about all this in the morning webinar. We had that. We had that. This should have easily broken and done that. Instead, we did that. Tried to hold this guy, built more balance, and then this is what I was waiting for, and that's exactly what happened. And we got the sell ice up here this morning. This was 200, and it just kept coming in all in this zone. And I sat in this thing for hours waiting for this to break, and then finally we got the little way. Here's your retest, and then this is just classic pattern right there. Move an ATR away, retest the zone, fail, get in a half ATR, away you go. Then we came down here, massive double whammy, 248 icebergs, 337 sell stops. I just want to see what's going on here. I'm really glad I don't have a full position on this. Not. All right, I'm just waiting for something to fire off here. I really want to short this, get back my overnight beating. Waiting all morning. There's nothing. Being that your stops that tick so often, how likely do you think that your stops are being triggered by algos that actually know where your stops are set? Probably, I don't know. I mean, what am I going to do? The only thing you could do is just not have stops in and then just manually go to the market. But between these webinars and everything I'm watching, I'll get killed that way too because I'll miss stuff. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. So I knew a guy that used to be associated with one of the big software programs. You know him well. I'm not going to name him, but he was literally like a part of it. And I was told when he was trading, he could actually see where the big stops were in the book, like resting because of the back end platform. So, and I don't doubt that one bit. I don't think anything's changed. And that's the beauty of what we can see with this SI indicator, right? That's why you guys have an edge like no other trader on the planet, knowing that information. Most traders just guess, right? Anybody I've ever listened to is just guessing, oh, that was a stop run, that was a stop run. You see if it's a stop run, you see how many it is. It's like, I tell you guys every day, you have the greatest edge on the planet for retail traders, knowing this stuff and learning the setups. And that's all you need. So anyway, soybeans, we also came down to, so I'm watching closely in this baby lug. I'll cover one here. I think we're going to get down here, but if we, this is also what's this confluent. This is ESMO, right? We have 2 standard deviation from VWAP, baby lug. I can definitely see this thing doing that for the next hour. So if I see blue, I'm going to cover one of these. Just a second here. And this was just textbook, guys. I mean, if you didn't have your head up here, you know what, like I did, looking at structure. I mean, this was perfect pullback, perfect to this monster ice. There you go. It's almost 20 points. I hope someone didn't screw that up. You notice here too, we're at that baby lug. These have not been firing off. I didn't see these firing off anyway. I'm going to cover one there. Keep 2 on. Back to beans. So we came down. I put this in the room as well. All right, look at this stuff. It's just market profile, yellow lug. I said blue, I meant yellow. This was how many standard deviations away. This was just prime, and then you had the big double whammy. I got out of most of them, or I got out of half there. I was a little greedy. All right, now this is kicking in. All right, down to the blue lug we go. 19 quarters of the blue lug. Another one there. And I'll wait. I just wish something would happen in Nasdaq or Russell. That's why I cannot wait to short those markets. Just been crickets. See, this is one of those times you can watch.
S&P stocks 528 sell.
You can watch this. You don't have to get out the blue lug if you see all these firing off like this, right? And now I have a new setup anyway. Now I can just stop out on this setup if I want. So you have two different 400 lot stop runs here, right? So let's just get them both in here. That's your zone. Remember, I make the stop runs yellow. So now you can add to this.
S&P I 723 buy.
No, I can't believe it. Come on, dude. Oh, that's me, sorry. Oh, yeah, bias coming in here, huge too. See why I'm not getting out of this? I mean, they're still hammering this thing. This is coming in though, so definitely can make this another zone. So with this bias here, if this pops back above 19 quarter, I'll get out. And then wait. Still nothing in Nasdaq or Russell. +20 points right here, straight. I put it in the room too. Hopefully you guys caught some of that. I said massive sell ice. Came back. You see how helpful this tick strike is? Where I'm just like, okay, let them keep hammering it. Why do I want to get out if they're just hammering these stocks? Such an edge. So you have the volume edge, and then you have this to validate your areas or not validate them. I mean, silliness. And now if this breaks, I will add to this trade. So if we do ATR, retest, fail, I'm in forward with a whole new position. ATR is 4.5, so we'll run up to 5. Look at that. So again, this kept me, I mean, I only have the 2 on, but I was going to cover 1 at 19 quarter. And I didn't have to because they were hammering these. This is where this stuff becomes useful. Or at 19 quarter, if you hear nothing, you get out, or get out of most of them. So you could be aggressive and short right here, half ATR, 2.5 points below this zone. That's right here. I will wait because we've moved so far right now, so fast. I'm pretty sure we're going to come back and retest the zone. It's just a matter if we get an ATR below here or not. I need to see 5 points below. So either way, now I can go 4.5 points plus 4 ticks. So 5.5 points above the zone puts me at 24 for my stop out of this position. If I enter in another position here, then my stop will be in the same spot because I'm going an ATR plus 4 ticks above this huge buy ice. The world must be ending because it's pouring in Arizona right now. It's probably quite loud. This wasn't huge, it was only 860, but still. All right, we're almost an ATR below here. What did I say, 4.5? $16.25, $12.25, $11.75. Pretty close. Two ticks. I'll accept that as an ATR move. So let's see if we get a retest fail, and I'll enter a brand new position on this. See if we built new lugs. We did. Next lug's down at 02. 02 quarter-ish. And pay attention here, this is important. That's 10, the 10 area. If we can get inside there, it's it's also the vol trigger. 4411 is vol trigger. I mean, if this does this, that's fine. I'm glad. I mean, I'm just not being aggressive right here. We know that's a big area. This is still pretty aggressive. This could just go right through here. We'll see. They're just hammering these. You see this? Like this just helps you stay in this trade. You're not like here we are at the vol trigger. I'm usually like, okay, I'll cover one here. They're hammering these. I might cover one here if they don't. Just stops coming in. I'll cover one and wait for a retest. You guys done? All right, I got a one there because I'm fully expecting a retest of this zone. Then I'll add to it. So again, I got out of there because one of the things I look at, we know that's the, well, first of all, it's this. It's the most important top of this. We're real close there. And then we had the spot gamma level 2. I cannot believe we don't have one signal in NASDAQ, not one.
Crude iceberg by CL, 150 contracts.
Whatever. It's only exact dollar where I got stopped out from. I had 12 on. That's funny. That's funny. Exact vol trigger. Let's see if this bounces. I just want to retest the zone. We're going to do that and go down to 02. Well, I'm waiting for a retest of that zone. So that soybean came back above. So I trailed my stop. An ATR plus 4 ticks above this double whammy, and I got stepped up right at the close. Almost to the tick as usual, but it's fine. I was not gonna hold it into the close anyway, so. Small winner. This thing's in trouble, man. Almost 30 points from that zone. again, you could have added aggressively on the break of this. I just didn't. No thanks. Not with all this stuff right here. Again, I think it's pretty aggressive even the retest fail because we still got to try to punch through that market profile. Right here. How many days is that? This needs to be, this is multi-day. This is a huge area. So this is when you get trends too, because you have these algos that are playing these deviations, and when the big money comes in and crushes them, it's just like this cascading effect that they're just, they get to puke it and then they try to buy it at the next one, have to puke it, and that's where you get your trends. It doesn't happen very often, obviously. The normal trade is that, away from these things, as we all know. That's why it's so hard to stay in trades, right? You're always waiting for this snapback, but if you have your areas, you just got to accept it. I mean, I held that crude all the way back. I got screwed on the Fed thing, but I was willing. I held it all the way back. It was like 68 ticks because I just knew we were going to head back down there, but you know, I didn't let that snapback on that one. Yeah, I cost myself. I should have gotten out, but you know, if you just stick to your conviction, your targets, your thesis, and let your zones dictate where you're getting out, that's all you can do. And it takes so much off of your mind than worrying about this nonsense. Oh, when's it going to stop? Oh, is it going to stop now? It doesn't matter. Just use your stuff. And you'll just be able to trade freely. And if you get stopped, you get stopped. I mean, that crude, I mean, I'm kind of going against my own words here because that did rattle me because I don't mind getting stopped. It's getting stopped to the damn tick every single time. That's what drives me crazy. And then having to drop $1 after that, that's the stuff that bugs me and throws me off. But I'm fine with getting stopped. I just don't understand how it's the exact tick every single time. That's my issue. All right, I'm done complaining about that for now. Till the next one, which should probably be happening here any minute, I would guess. So you guys, you're not alone in your complaining. I don't think anyone complains as much as me, but. There's just nothing in this market, nothing. This was this morning. I'm just going to get rid of this. What am I doing here? All right, here's your retest. Well, I said I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. It's pretty scary and this far from VWAP. Again, I need to see this come here and then fail, right? This may just go right through here, and that's fine. But if this fails, then I'm in. ATR is 4.72. We'll say 5, so 2.5 points below here, I'll enter. Half an ATR. So 2 points is 14.25, 13.75. Again, this is what I look at. This is risky because it's right on the top of this profile, right? But I'm willing to take it because I think if we bust through the top of that profile, we're going down to at least the blue lug 02, at least. Point of control is right around 94-ish, 94.5. Could make it all the way even down here. Sure, that'll happen tonight when no one's watching as usual. Sell ice and NQ. It's not cool. 3.0. Let's see here. I'm seeing 183. Talking about this right here. Again, this is my other computer. I got 3.0 on here that I'm showing 183. Yeah. Looks like broken ice. Again, I'm just going with the, I'm not going to trade off any patterns on here. I got to stick with my guns or else I'll drive myself crazy. What I do when I get off this thing is always. Let's get this off. I don't need that on both of them. All right. Yeah, on here, Mrs. Ludwig, or not Mrs. Ludwig. I'm having these all day where I have to refresh this. It's not updating. So this is a good place to short if we get anything. What is this? It's the yellow lug, and it's the bottom of a profile. A profile. What's this thing? Oh, it's because I merged these earlier. This is going to be, I may have to trade out that 3.0. This is just a really good area. This fails. I'm filled on that ES as well. I'm sure it'll be a straight 30-point shot when I didn't put a full position on, right? This is just going to go 30 points now for me, like the first one did. Right. Why don't I have 7 on it? All right, so that does look like it was to this. I don't think.
S&P stock 648 sell.
I'll be back to that.
S&P I 700 buy.
Let's go in 02. So the stop runs threshold. Still hitting this stuff.
S&P I 731 buy.
No, you're kidding. Can't believe there's buyers coming in. It's almost like free money or something. I hope these guys get killed. I hope this thing drops 50 points straight. Pigs. I'm just gonna draw this ice. The stop runs right here too, but I'm gonna draw the ice. Seriously, go to 0. One time, just swipe to 0. Where's the fat finger when you need one? All right, so worst case scenario is you can trail the stop down to an ATR plus 4 ticks above this. ATR is 5.5, 5.25, so 6.5 points above here. Puts me at 17. Blue lugs at 02. See how much more comfort he is on this trade? Like, you see these stocks getting pummeled, you're like, all right, I'm cool. This is the baby lug right here, though. I may cover a couple if I can find the damn chart. Hey, what do you know? I missed it. I'm just covering two at the baby lug because this stuff is kind of quieting down a little bit, so we'll see. I'll cover two more down at this 02 area, at that blue lug, unless everything's just getting smushed, then I'll hold it. So technically you could add onto this trade, right? You can add right now on a half ATR. I'm not going to add because we have that blue lug. We bust that blue. Here we go. See how this stuff's just getting smushed, pushed through there. All right, cover two of them. I missed it by 3 points. Jesus. All right, still have half a position on. My God, this should be seriously my best day in at least since this trading room started. If it wasn't for that crude screw job. So upset. Let me cover one more here if this starts to pop up. Or we can bust this blue lug and just keep going. That's fine with me too. Like that. See how this, they're not hitting this now? Let's see if it comes in. Oh, it's coming in again. We may go all the way to the bottom of this profile. In one shot. So remember, point of control is at 90, 94-ish. The bottom of this profile is at 84-ish. Those are your next two levels if they keep smacking these. You see what I mean though? Why these are so important to have. You're not panicking out of this. You're just like, all right, well, they keep hitting this. I'm gonna try to get down to 94. You got 0 gamma. Hold it. Get back above 02 half. I'm gonna cover one of these like that. All right, still have 2 on. What I'm gonna do and probably do now, since we have violated that lug, if we can kind of do this, retest, I'll give it another shot just like I did the first time up here. Jay-Z, I wish I would have listened to you and taken that. There's no way this was above an ATR off of this sell ice here. They pointed out, as soon as that breaks, boom. It's 30 plus points, almost 40 points straight. I'm sorry, that wasn't, yeah, but it was on the other one. Didn't show up on here, of course. You could have combined these two, though. So I did miss this. This is my fault, as usual. So many errors today, man. This is what you can do, right? This is why I have this set to reset, this exact reason. You got a spike, you got a spike. You put those all together. And you spin yourself around. And that's what it's all about. Not. I can get a laugh from anybody on that. That's just, I mean, seriously, dude. Tough crowd today. Calling out trades like it's my job. Oh, wait, it is. But you see, guys, if you have your rules down and know how to read these, this is how it's going to be very soon, like every day, not just once every 4 weeks, right? Once we get into September, you're going to be seeing this kind of movement all the time. So be ready for it. I never retested that zone. So, but now we're under the blue lug. If we get something else, I'll take the trade. Remember, point of control's at 92. You got to be careful with this 95 zero gamma too. Like if we swipe down to zero gamma and we can't get through here, I'll cover half of what I have on. Got 8 crude. Seriously, this should have a 1 in front of it. Pigs. Oh, I said I wasn't going to complain about that anymore. Sorry. So remember, we're in this thing now. We're in this composite. Many times, just the normal patterns without the SI indicator stuff. This is the pattern, right? Gets inside, it'll retest the edge, then it'll go, and that's confluent with our zone. So I will take that trade if we get up there. This is a great day to go back and replay everything. Crude, ES, beans a little bit. Crude and ES, you can seriously just keep replaying it. The only thing is I want to definitely start recording this because I want to see, this is going to be so important in areas, and I want to kind of just hammer home what these we're doing at certain areas.
S&P 708 buy.
Keep buying them. Keep buying them, fellas. Keep buying them. But can't trail your stop now, right?
S&P 704 buy.
Go 1,500 and counting. Who's going to win this one? I really hope it's paper. Not. This thing swipes to 0. And they have 1,500 on. There you go. You like that? How'd that taste? Love it. Keep buying them. Put some more in. Put some more ice in. It's actually still coming in. Look at this. All right, so I'm ready to I'll cover this at 95 just because this is coming in. I don't need to wait for this to pop up here out an ATR. If we touch 95 and it starts to bounce back, I'll just get out and watch and wait. Look at this. It's still coming in. I'm probably going to have to change that in here in a second. Still coming in. Just going to buy 1 million contracts. Something's going to stop it, right? That's what they're saying. We'll just keep throwing them in. Look at these. Look at this. Keep buying them, guys. Look at that iceberg. Seriously, swipe to 0 right now. Go. I got a 1. I know what's going to happen here. So this is going to ease up. This is going to pop back, and then they'll probably hold it. But not. This can get an ATR below here. I may research.
NQ size NQ iceberg alert
Okay, so
by
soon,
175.
so soon. All day I waited for this. It's at 12:58, 2:58. Look at this. I did screw up that other one. I don't know what I was doing there. That's why I have it on recent.
S&P 710 buy.
Oh, they're going to buy some more too, in case you guys are wondering. Again, let's just keep throwing in orders until it stops. crazy. See how these are kind of letting up now. See how what happens here. Not anymore, they're not. So you could enter this aggressively, but do you want to enter aggressively right at 0 gamma is the question, right? Because this is, if you get 2.5 points below the zone, you could. I don't want to.
NQ stop alert. Sell 175.
So upsetting. All right, if this retest fails, I'm in on this one as well. ATR is 22. Remember, 92 is that point of control. I'm sorry, 94 was the point of control. This might make it all the way down to the bottom of this. There's a retest. Of course, it's got to be the end of the day. Then I'll put on a night trade and lose on it. Let's freeze up too. Perfect. I never got an ATR below there. Here's a retest of the ice. I'm going to put on that position. We got an hour left. So 97.5, 95. I'm going to go tick below 0 gamma. Oops. Just 1.3 on. I'm going to give this a shot to get down to that bottom of that profile with all this ice. How come they didn't come in there at the close there like they always do? Someone's sweating bullets. Such a big day. So anyway, this was here. Top of this was at 0.1/2. I'm just going to hold on to this one and whatever I get filled on and play the zone. ATRs 5.6. So we'll say 5 3/4, so 6 3/4 points above this zone. 7 points is 850, 8 1/4. So where I'll stop out of this. I'm giving this a chance. I'll fill on that one again. I'm giving this a chance overnight to get down to the bottom of this profile. That's not a real good risk reward though, is it? 10 points. Risking 13 to make 10. Yeah. I'll just cancel that. I'll leave this one on. I don't want to add to that after hours, and I'm risking. Of course, it's going to go straight there, but this is what I'm talking about. You need to be putting on trades with good risk reward. This is not a good risk reward trade, especially after hours. I mean, I'm fine with 1, but I don't want to have 4 on. All right, guys, I got a mentoring session coming up, so could have been a career day. I highly, highly advise you to go back and replay crude. Put on trades like you would, draw your zones. If you have to stop, you do it 100 times speed or whatever, stop it, put your trades on, look at the charts. I mean, I know you know what happened, but it's still, you're going to start to get used to the whipsaw nonsense, right? You're just, once you watch it with position, even though it's a fake position, you're watching and you're like, okay, this is what it does. This is what it does. So when you're in trades and it does that, you're not panicking out, right? Huge day to go back and replay, especially on ES. The number 1 trade was up here where I put it in the room. And I screwed up because I was stewing over crude. I mean, I still put it on, but I should have had full size on. This was the trade. I mean, it does not get any better than this. This, I can't get my color right. Retest, fail, gone. House 40 points, 50 points, pretty much straight. And you could have been adding in these new zones. This is, you want to go back and replay this day like 400 times. Come up with playbooks off of this, right? There's plenty of stuff that you can come up with playbooks. Breaks of market profiles, acceptance in the market profiles, breaks of lugs, return to VWAP, confluent with high volume nodes. The one that I didn't see where I would have put on full size, this is another playbook right here. Balance. This is where all that ice was. You got a return, high volume node where all the ice was, confluent with VWAP. That's a playbook. Algo guy. Never once, barely got above the blue this entire ride down. It did this. I was at retest. Tried to pull that above. Once this pulled back below, look at that. That's why you keep an eye on that. Help you stay in the trade as well. All right, guys, I will, I'm doing 2 webinars tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some actual trade like this. That would be incredible. You see what can be done. Like I've been telling you guys, I started this trade room in the worst possible time of the year, like April to August. It's not usually a very good trading period. April, May, June, it's decent, but you know, this is what you can start to expect these types of days. I'm not even trading big. This was basically with a 3 lot. I put on 1 normal size trade, but I mean, you see the potential. And when these markets start opening up, you're going to be making awesome money trading. If you get your playbooks and all your rules down. If you don't, you're going to be struggling like always. So again, I'm going to ask tomorrow one more time for someone to volunteer to do a playbook. I just gave you one. Come up with that. Go back and find 3 instances and put something down on paper and try to talk about it on Friday. I don't know how many times I can tell you guys to do that. Okay, so I will see you in the morning.